Yo, what's going on, guys? Jeff back here bringing you another update on the Excelsior build. In this one, I'm going to be getting the car out of the garage and into the daylight so you guys can get a really good look at it. I know I did show it a little bit in the previous video on the channel, but I'm going to go more in depth with it in this video, show you guys a few more close-ups, and I'm going to show you both sides of the car so you get a really good idea of exactly what's going on with it right now. Then I'm going to also show you a couple other things that I'm working on, and we'll talk about where we're going next with the build, what the next few months look like, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's pull them out of the garage and into the light. Alright guys, so here he is, Zailas, out of the garage and in the daylight. We're going to get a really nice close look at the kit and the car. For you guys here on the first time on YouTube, I've put up a lot of stuff already on Instagram, so you've probably already seen this if you do follow me on Instagram. But for all you YouTube guys, here's going to be a major update. I did do a very brief little walk around in the last video I uploaded, as I said, but this is going to be a lot more in-depth, so you guys are going to be able to see the kit here live as I'm talking to you guys. And so let's take a good look at this thing. It came out crazy, if I do say so myself. I think it looks amazing. This is going to be about 99.9% done. There's still a couple of things left that I have to do, a few little things that I'm going to adjust. Nothing major at all, but a couple little pieces that I might want to add to it. Bear in mind, the car is still really dirty. You know, it's not received a wash or a detail in years, and it still won't until we finish the production process. I am getting this kit produced and hopefully up for sale for you guys next year. That is my ultimate goal. So there's no reason to wash it or anything right now. We're doing a lot of production work on it right now. So still looks really rough. The wheels are dirty. Everything is dirty on it, so don't mind that. There's also no paint on the car, obviously. It has not been painted. This is still raw primer, so a lot of the kit, you must keep in mind, is going to look very bland, especially like in the side skirt area right here and everything that's all the same color. This will not be the case once the car is painted and everything is detailed, the carbon work is done and everything. You're going to really see my intention with the different colors and things like that. So definitely keep that in mind as we take a closer look here. The car is not painted yet, and that's going to make a huge difference. So with that being said, let's take a closer look. I have already uploaded several videos about this kit. If you're new to this channel, welcome first of all. Second of all, if you want to see or hear more details on each piece of this kit, I've uploaded a video for pretty much every single piece of the kit as I've built it, as the process has gone along. So if you want more information on, like, for example, the front bumper or the side skirts or the fenders, go back and look at some of the previous videos on my channel, and I have very detailed information, close-up looks at each piece. So I'm not going to go too crazy into detail on each piece in this video for the sake of time, but let's get a little closer look at this as it's all complete and on the car for you guys. Like I said, I think it really turned out great. Aggressive was the goal, crazy was the goal. Not everybody's cup of tea, of course, I know that, but for me, this is definitely my dream Z33. Definitely something that is going to stand out wherever it goes. Pardon me as I'm walking around here. I got a ton of leaves like everywhere, so if you hear crunching under my feet, that's what that is. But yeah, super aggressive. I mean, you can see just how much presence that this body kit adds to the Z33. I've already had several people not even recognize what the car is. They don't even know that it's a Z anymore. It's just that crazy, and that blesses me, to be honest. That's actually something that makes me smile big time, because that's kind of the goal. You see so many Zs out there, especially 350s, and while I love 350s, obviously, they do tend to get boring very quickly if there's too many that look the same. And as I've gone to many of the biggest shows in the world and seen lots of Z33s, it really fired me up to do this, to go crazy. And this is definitely, at least in part, a direct result of my desire to bring out the most potential that the Z33 chassis has. I've always believed that this car was a chassis that had massive potential for styling, and while this may not be everybody's first choice design-wise, I think that a lot of you guys will agree that this is definitely something that brings a lot out of this car, and that's actually part of the reason why the kit is called the Excelsior kit, which basically translates to the highest version of the Z33. So for those of you guys who like different, who like unique, this is definitely going to be a car that you guys are going to like, or at least that you should appreciate, because there's not anything else like it on the market. This body kit, as I have mentioned many times, is very heavily inspired by my love of Japan, Japanese aesthetic, Japanese cars of course, and samurai, and so you're going to see a lot of that type of design language in the body kit. Japanese mecha, stuff like that is a huge inspiration, so it's definitely going to tickle the fancy of everybody who's into that kind of stuff as well. I definitely am. I'm not shy about it, so it went into the design of this kit as well. I want to emphasize that every little line, every little thing is very carefully crafted. There's lots of beveling, lots of intention put into the design here. Nothing was done sloppily. That's why this has taken me just about 3 years to build this kit. For example, as I zoom into the front fender here, you can see how these vents here, these individual vents, they're not just kind of sloppily cut in there. There's actually little raised sections in here in each one of these. That's just like a perfect example of the kind of detail that I went into. I mean, really every single piece of the kit has just like it's all beveled. There's nothing tacky, no tacky like 90-degree cuts or anything. Wherever possible, I made everything nice and smooth, and it really came out very good in my opinion. Everything from like even this vent section right here, this is all nicely beveled. It's not just cut flat. Like that's the kind of stuff, that's the kind of detail to me that really sticks out, is when you see something that was intentionally shaped or beveled in a certain way. Even the accessory pieces that aren't even necessary, like this winglet and this section right here, which are removable, they receive just as much love and care in the design and the beveling all the way across. You can see in the rear bumper right here, this whole removable spat and canard section, all of this is all beveled, so it was all hand sanded down, hand shaped, and so I really hope that you guys can see the love that I put into each one of these pieces of this kit. I will say that there's no way that a camera is ever going to pick up what this makes you feel like when you're looking at it in person. You can take as many photos or videos of this as possible, but man, it's cliche to say, but photos truly do not do this thing justice. You guys have to see this kit, have to see this car in person, and hopefully when it's done, a lot of you will be able to see it. I'm planning on having it at Sema next year, so you know, if you guys can make it to Sema next year, you'll see it there. But this is one of those things where a camera will never pick up all the little detail and all the love that I put into this thing, literally blood, sweat, and tears. And I hope that comes across and you guys can really get that feeling from it, especially in the future if you decide to buy one of these kits for yourself. I really hope that you can get a feeling of the love and the care that was put into designing and building it. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about where we're going from here, what's next for the build. Right now, like I've told you, I'm in the process of getting everything produced, and in order to do that, we have to do 3D scanning and printing work, because as I come to this side of the car, you will see that there's no fenders or side skirts on this side of the car. The bumpers are of course complete, and everything on the passenger side is pretty much all ready to go, but we don't have any fenders or skirts for the driver's side just yet. And of course the reason for that is that I wanted to make sure that my symmetry was exactly perfect from the one side over to the next, and that is just something that I did not feel I would be able to do by eye and by hand even though, you know, I'm very familiar with different techniques to try and capture symmetry from one end to the other, techniques that I use to do that on the bumpers. So I'm familiar with it, but I care so much that this thing is perfect that instead of trying to replicate all this detail in the fenders and the side skirts and everything, I went ahead and decided to go the hard way, or I guess the easy way, but the more expensive way, and do 3D scanning and 3D printing. So that's what we're doing right now. The guy that I'm working with to do that is really busy with Sema right now as I record this video. Sema 2022 is just getting ready to start, actually tomorrow. So he's got a bunch of stuff that he's doing for Sema, but as soon as Sema wraps up, we're going to get the process started. He's actually going to travel here to my place to do the scan work, and then he's going to get all the scanning for all of the pieces of the kit, even the smaller stuff like the wings and all of the accessory pieces and all that is all going to get scanned, and then he's going to go in and do all the CAD work to make sure that everything is dialed in. So we have proper thicknesses and all the fitment is correct for mounting and everything. He's a wizard with all that, so he's then going to go in and dial it all in with CAD. And then he's got huge 3D printers that he's going to actually print inverted copies. So he can take the scans that he does for the passenger side stuff and flip it or invert it in CAD and print it out in his 3D printers, and it's going to be perfectly to scale where I can then take the prints and put the prints on the car, and then at that point I will go ahead and do all the work to make sure all the lines from the bumpers are going to be lining up perfectly with those prints so that it looks just the way that the passenger side does. And then we'll smooth the prints out so everything is all ready to mold, and we'll mold the entire kit, which means we're making molds to pull composite copies out of. I'm not going to keep the 3D prints on the car. Those are not going to be the final kit. Those are just going to be used as prototype pieces along with these current pieces right here. These are all still prototype. These are not going to be the final pieces for my kit. These are just going to be the pieces, including the 3D prints again, that are going to be used to make the final molds, after which time we will start pulling FRP, carbon fiber versions, maybe even carbon Kevlar versions in the future, forged carbon as well. We're in the talks about all that. So at that point, after we have the molds and we can pull as many copies of this kit as we want, that's when production is going to be in full swing, and we'll be getting the kit up for sale, and I will finally be able to put a real kit on this car and get it painted and all that. So that is the process that I'm right in the middle of right now. It takes a ton of time and it's extremely expensive, so you know, it's kind of a waiting game right now, but that is what's going on with this. Now in the meantime, I'm going to have some downtime because there's going to be a lot of downtime while the molds are being made, while the CAD work's being done, etc., etc. In the meantime, I can still be doing work for the car, such as interior work, and that's actually what I'm doing right now. So as you can see, my interior is literally pulled all apart. Only the dash is still in there, and I still have this stuff back here. I'm still contemplating whether or not I want to leave like my cubby and all that stuff. I don't know if I want to leave that stuff or actually pull it all out, but as far as the door panels, you know, all of this stuff, the center console has all been removed because I'm now, and the headliner as well up here, by the way, it's all out because it's all being reupholstered. This whole interior is getting an entire makeover. There's my new seat. I'm running a pair of brand new seats for the Excelsior build as well. So these are Mercury Japan, very rare seats. I've only seen one other car in all of the shows that I've ever been to, one other car with Mercury seats ever. So very rare seat. I got an amazing deal on a set of those, so I'm super hyped about that. But yeah, interior is next, and everything's pulled out and getting ready to be reupholstered, and it's going to be absolutely epic. New headliner, everything, and also new roll cage. So if I come into here, into my garage, you can see I've got my roll cage right back there, covered in dust, because it's been sitting there for 2 years that I bought that thing, and I've been waiting to put it in, but it's taken so long to get this kit made that it's just been chilling there. So we're going to be putting the cage in and everything. I may even redo my air setup, my air tank and all that. I may even go back and do like a hardwood floor and all that in the back. I'm right in the middle of trying to figure out exactly how I want to do my interior, but it's going to be absolutely epic. So that's what I'm working on right now, is getting my interior ready while I'm waiting for the guys to do the production work for me. And lastly, we're going to be doing some engine work as well. So I'm not real concerned about that right now. It's still a very healthy HR motor that I have in the car right now. It's got full bolt-ons and a tune, so it's very basic setup for the time being, but I am definitely not going to be leaving it that way for this build. But that's like last on my list to do for right now. My main priority is to get this kit done with production work and get it ready to sell, and then getting this car ready to be presented at Sema next year. As long as I can get to that point, then I'll be happy, and at that point I can then move into doing more engine stuff. But I promise you, I'm not going to be leaving the engine alone. This car is not going to be as stock as it is. I mean, it's not stock right now, but it's not going to be as stock as it is. We're doing some special engine stuff as well, so don't worry about that. It's not just going to be a looker. It's going to be quick as well. But anyway, that is a really good look, or at least as best a look as I can give you guys for the time being, of the Excelsior kit, and a quick rundown of what's going on, where I'm at with it. I'm going to continue to try and scrounge up as much content as I can for you guys, those of you who are following me on Instagram and YouTube. I'm going to try and get as much content going as the process develops, but really it's going to take a long while, so I apologize if there's not updates as quickly as you would like them, but I'm going to be putting stuff up as quick as I can. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any questions or just feel like leaving a comment or whatever, please do so in the comment section of this video. I love hearing from you guys. I sincerely appreciate every one of you guys, truly. Thank you for coming back and watching my videos. If you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe, man. It would help me out, and you'll be able to keep up to date with this car and where it goes. And also Instagram, follow me on Instagram at SiegeStyle. You'll see updates there, probably more often than YouTube, but I am going to try and pick up the YouTube content a little bit more. I'm going to start just documenting little things too, so it may not be crazy videos all the time, but I think some people want to see just the little stuff too, so I'm going to start doing that. In any case, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.